Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. I read 9 books in April. So let's just get going on them. So first book I read in April was Break My Fall by Lynn Blackburn. I gave this one, I believe I gave it 4 stars. I love Lynn Blackburn's friend groups. They are incredible. And the family. The Quins, is it the Quins are the good ones, right? Yeah, the Quins. I love their connection. They're as a Southern girl myself, like the small town Southern vibes really just are off the charts with her books, especially. And they're also just perfection. I really love the way she writes them. So 4 stars, definitely really liked that one. I also read Final Approach by Lynette Eason. Also 4 stars. I did guess one of the twists halfway through. I don't remember which one that was, actually. That's bad. I read this at the beginning of the month, so I don't fully remember what twist I said that I guessed. Oh, yeah, I do now. I didn't fully guess it, but I guessed enough of it that I feel like I give myself a little bit of credit for guessing it. I gave that one also 4 stars. Again, friend groups are perfect. Just love that, and that's my favorite part of, I think, about Lynette Eason's books, is just the friend group that she writes. Then I read Sold into Freedom by Carole Towriss. I read the sequel to this last month in March. And I did not realize it was the sequel, but they follow. It's fine. You don't have to read them in order. Especially if you already are familiar with the story of the Book of Acts, you really don't have to read them in order at all. I gave this one 4 stars. The other one I gave 5. I thought it was better. But this one was also really good. This is about the main 2 characters are the slave girl in Philippi, the one with the demon that Paul casts out, and the Philippian jailer. And it was kind of like enemies to lovers, except done really well, because I really appreciated that, I don't know, she had not done, neither one of them had done anything specifically to the other, but their people were enemies, because she was from Britain, the slave girl was, in this story. I really love how this author writes Paul, also. And I loved how, despite the way that they came together after being enemies was through forgiveness through Jesus. Yes, this was a really good book. Highly recommend. Then I read The Curious Inheritance of Bleakley House by Joanna Davison Politano. I gave it 4 stars. Steampunk elements were great. Sydney was a great character. Her aunt, I loved her aunt so much. She was wonderful, precious, just perfect. Loved her. And I liked the mystery of the house and everything, and it made the book feel like a lighter than you usually think of Gothic novel. Just the elements of, one of the major elements that I learned about in class when we talked about Gothic novels specifically, is that often you will have a mysterious house that the main character is kind of exploring, trying to figure out what's going on with it. So that was really fun. That was a really fun element in this one. The classic example of that would probably be Northanger Abbey, which is, a parody of the Gothic, but Northanger Abbey, Catherine, I lost her name for a second. Catherine goes around exploring the house and stuff, so. All right, then With Each Tomorrow by Tracie Peterson and Kimberly Woodhouse. 4 stars again. Carter was a really great male main character, and as with the first book, I loved Marvella. She is wonderful. Just a really great mentor to the other characters around her. I put in my review on Goodreads. That said, I'm really tired of Christian romance books where one of them is struggling in their faith. Can we have a romance between 2 strong Christians, please, and thank you? Because seriously, way more than half. It's at least 75% of Christian romances. Either one of them is not a Christian at the beginning, or is very mad at God or something, and has to get over that by the end of the book. And I'm could we maybe not do that anymore? Can we? It's one thing I really love about Melanie Dickerson that I noticed on my reread from a couple years ago is my first year on Booktube. I reread all of her books that I have, and I'm pretty sure in all of her books, at least all of the medieval fairy tales, the main characters are both strong believers. I think in all of them, neither one of them is, there may be one where they're struggling in their faith, but like, for the most part, she writes romances between two people who are strong Christians and who are coming together with that as the foundation of their relationship. And I just love that. And I really, really wish we would stop with having one mature person and one very immature person, and then they get together and it's like, well, but like, I feel like one of you should be maturing before you get in a relationship. Anyways, that just really grinds my gears sometimes. I then read Last to Fall by Lynn Blackburn. 4 stars. This is the sequel, the last one in the series that Break My Fall was part of. And I really liked seeing Mo and Bronwyn's story. It is frustrating to read a book where literally all of the problems would be solved if the two main characters would communicate. But unlike in most books where that happens, in this case, they both know it. Like, they both know everything would be fine if they would just talk to each other. They just won't do it. So it was kind of amusing with that. But I really appreciated Mo as a character. First of all, he has what is the little girl's name? Is it Eliza? The little girl from the first book. I think it's Eliza is her name. I'm going to double check that. Yes, Eliza. So, Mo is like this, really hardened, bitter, almost seeming character. Like, he, stoic, very stoic, that's the word I'm looking for. Very hardened, stoic character. And yet this little bitty girl shows up and he just, like, melts. And I love that trope, right? Like, does everyone not agree that is one of the most elite tropes? I love how he just adores her. And I love how, even though he and Bronwyn are mad at each other, and I don't remember which one of them. I feel like it was Bronwyn who had to speak first. I think that was it. But either way, despite the fact that he and Bronwyn have literally, even though they've been in each other's company many, many times, they have not spoken a word to each other in like 10 years, if not more. It may have been more than 10 years. I don't know. It was a long time. It was a very long time. But despite that, the second she emails them and is like, hey, so I think I might be in danger. He like drops everything. He's like, yep, coming to help immediately. I don't care how much you've hurt me in the past. I'm going to protect you. Also, her family is a piece of work, and I very much like his family much more. His family is much better. I read A Noble Companion by Rachel Kovaciny. I gave it 4 stars. Did I give everything 4 stars this month? I think I did. I gave one book 5 stars this month. We'll get to that in a minute, but it doesn't really feel like it can. This one might have been 5 stars, actually. You know what? I think I'm going to update this review now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to update my rating to 5 stars for this one, because it was really, really fun. This is a very Hispanic-inspired tale. Like an almost fantasy tale. It is so the main character wants to go and, like, she doesn't want to leave her hometown because she has nowhere else to go, but she's also about to lose the only place that she has in her hometown. And so a young man that she grew up with proposes to her, but he's rich and she's not, so she doesn't want to marry him without a dowry. And so her big plan to get a dowry is to go steal from a dragon. And so the guy that she's thinking about marrying says, when she's gonna go do that, he sends his brother along with her. And in this world, horses and donkeys can talk. I think that was the only animals, like that kind of or birds. Birds can talk too, I think. But, like, not other animals. Like, there's a specific comment about how, like, there are certain animals that they eat, like, I guess pigs and, I don't know about cows. I guess cows. Cows would make sense. Anyways, and how there's some animals that they don't eat because they talk. Which was, I thought, a really nice little world building piece there. Reminded me a little bit of Narnia, as most things do. But it was a really fascinating. So the horses that are there are like kind of like chaperones, so that she is not traveling alone with her future brother-in-law while she's not even really engaged. Many adventures and havoc ensue, and it was just a really fun ride. I really liked it. Listened to it in like one day, and it's about 4 to 5 hour audiobook. I listened to it in one sitting pretty much at 3 times speed, so a little over an hour. Anyways, it was really good. All right, unpopular opinion time. I read Cities of Smoke and Starlight by Allie Earnest. This is a 3-star, so I did not hate this book, and I am going to read the next book because I really need to know what happens, and my library does have the next book, so I can get it to the library. But I enjoyed the story, the world building, and the characters, both the main and the side characters. Okay, one thing that I really loved about this, nobody had told me, I don't think anybody had told me that this book is like a books book. Like, they like books. Like, the two main characters bond over books. She also, the first time they meet, okay, she works in a bookstore, he walks in and is browsing, and she's having a bad day for other reasons that are unrelated to him, but, he's kind of a jerk too. So they're kind of both jerks to each other at the beginning. As he's leaving the bookstore that first time they meet, she literally yells after him, "I bite my thumb at you, sir," which is a reference to Romeo and Juliet that I loved. I love that because that's a very funny moment for the opening of the play. And so that I really liked that. And she also, like, she's really big fan of Shakespeare throughout. Hallie, I think is her name. So it dragged some in the middle, because it was basically like a travel montage. They also, somebody pointed out that they get hurt a lot, and like it's kind of unrealistic that they're still going, which is a good point. But I knocked off. This probably would have been a 4-star read, even with the dragging in the middle and stuff. However, they used fake vulgarity, like fake. You know what I mean? Like, fantasy and sci-fi worlds will often do this, where you just make up, where they just make up words that basically are used in the place of swear words. Okay, I'm okay with that minorly. Like, okay, whatever. You know, it's not a real swear word, so I'm more okay with fake swear words. But the amount that they used them was, like, really excessive. And I know they were in life and death situations a lot, and, like, I guess, but seriously, it was so often that it was really annoying. And then a character says a real world, very vulgar expression that I did not appreciate. It's in my Goodreads review if you want to go look at it. I had not heard anybody mention that. In fact, I heard it, like, I was listening to the audiobook, because my library has the audiobooks. And I was like, that was weird. Why did that happen? I went to go look at a bunch of Goodreads reviews, and, like, nobody had mentioned that was in there. And then I was like, huh. Well, I had the ebook. I bought the ebook for free. It was on sale for free. So I bought it, downloaded it, whatever. And searched, and sure enough, it was indeed there. So just as a warning, that's in there if you're interested in reading this book and you didn't know that. So yeah, that blindsided me. I am still going to read book 2 because I really want to know what happens, but don't necessarily recommend it because the ending was really exciting. I really enjoyed the ending. And by the time that expression came up, it was like 60-70% of the way in the book, and I was really interested in what was happening. So I wanted to find out, you know, what was gonna happen. So yeah, that was that. Disappointing. I expected it to be 5 stars. It was not 5 stars. Kind of sad. But anyways, I finally the last book I read was My Name is Patrick. Just like St. Patrick's autobiography. I gave it 5 stars just because, you know, Christian classic and stuff. So now we come to the part of the video where I've tried to see if I can remember what all my challenges were for the month. I was going to start with the readathons, the monthly readathons, but I am actually going to go to my year-long readathons and go ahead and get those done because those I'm more confident on. My monthly readathons, I may have to stop the recording and come back. Alright, so for the Reading the Classics challenge from Anne of It in Search of Wonder, I read My Name is Patrick. That's why I read that, because it was supposed to be a memoir or a biography, and I'm not particularly fond of those, so this was very short, and I knew I could just knock it out real fast, and so I did that one. I'm pretty sure it counts as a classic. It's from like 3-digit years. Pretty sure that's a classic. For Alma's Journey Through Time, okay, the prompt was at sea. I cheated a little bit. Sold into Freedom had some scenes where they were in boats, so I counted that. It's kind of a bit of a cheat, but it did have some boat scenes, so yeah. For Oshina's Christian romance reading challenge. What did I do? Oh, I put Last of All in new release because I wasn't sure if I was going to read any more new releases in the year, and I'd rather just go ahead and fill that spot. For the Read Your Bookshelf challenge, the prompt was a conjunction and kind of word in the title. I read Cities of Smoke and Starlight. That was it. For the Jeanette Jane Reads Christian Fiction Bingo, what is this month? Healthcare Worker. I read Break My Fall, and what was the other prompt? Favorite genre, I read A Noble Companion. For Cat Stories Biblical Retellings Challenge, I did Sold into Freedom. For, what was this month's? Gospel, because they both get saved in the book. And then the Katie Paperbacks and Ponytails Winnie the Pooh Challenge. Yeah, I don't remember what I filled in for that. I filled in something, but I don't remember what it was. So, there's that. Is there a new release prompt for that one? If there's a new release prompt, I may have filled that one in too. I'm not sure. But either way, and then I participated in 2 monthly readathons this month. I'm pulling it up, so that's why I'm looking down. Okay, she did not post it in her community tab. So I'm going to have to go to her announcement video. I participated in Katie's Dr. Seuss readathon. Where is the announcement video for that? I know she did one. There it is. Could not find it. I was like, I know she did one. Okay, the graphic. Let me open the graphic. And then I will talk about what I read for it. Okay. So, A Person's a Person, no matter how small, a short story or novella. For this, I put in A Noble Companion because it was really short. It's like 200 pages or something, 2-something pages. It just takes one yawn to start other yawns off. A hyped book. I think I put Break My Fall for that. I think that's what I put. Do you like green eggs and ham? Green cover. I know it for that one. I put Curious Inheritance at Blakely House because it's a pretty green cover. Here's lots of new blue goo now. New release. I put Last of All because she said it had to come out this year. And so, again, this was the best I could do. Tweedle Beetle Puddle Paddle Battle. Alliteration in the title. I did Cities of Smoke and Starlight. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. Mood read. What did I pick for the mood read prompt? Oh, I think I did Final Approach because I just kind of wanted to read more suspense. So I read that one. With a cup and a cake on top of my hat, make a snack or a drink inspired by your read. I did With Each Tomorrow, specifically because they have a scene where they talk about their eating rolls. And I was actually, when I was listening to that scene, I was already making rolls. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. We're going to do that. So, all right, now for the Read Happy Readathon, hosted by Em and Lucy and Jeanette and Alma. I'll have all of them, I'll have everybody obviously linked down below that I mentioned. All right. For Cozy Setting, I think I'm going to have to stop the video and come back and tell you what I did for all of these. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so, for Cozy Setting, I put A Noble Companion because it was a really cozy, it was a really neat, sweet setting. Yeah, a really sweet fantasy world. For Beautiful Scenery, I did With Each Tomorrow because part of the plot of this is she and her father are trying to establish national parks. So it talks about the beauty of, I think it's Montana. I think it's Montana that they're in. Somewhere where they're establishing a national park. Delicious food, I put Break My Fall because Granny Quinn makes a lot of good Southern food, and good Southern food is good. Kindred Spirit, Cities of Smoke and Starlight because they started to bond over they're both loving reading so much. For the free space, I just put the Patrick book. Community, Final Approach because I love the friend groups that she writes. Pet Companion, Blakely House, she had a cat. It was really cool. I liked the cat. Favorite hobby, I put Last of All because there was a single throwaway line about the main character reading romance novels. So I put Last of All for that. And then Happy Ending, I did Sold into Freedom because it ends well. So that's what I read for April. My favorite book was probably The Noble Companion. What was your favorite book that you read in April? Please let me know down in the comments. And have you read any of these? What did you think of them? Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye. So first, let's do the Read Happy Readathon. I filled all the prompts. Now let's see if I can remember how I filled them. Okay. I will pop the thing up on the screen. You may have heard my toddler just yelling just a second ago. That was cute.